Hi all, welcome to Varak channel. In this video I will discuss about how to file ITR 2 and we will use the financial year 2019-2020 utility for filling the ITR. I will go through the long time capital gain, how to fill the form 16, then form 26AS, then the income from other sources, then ATC, ATD, how to fill ATTTA and ATTTB. To file ITR 2, first you have to prepare the ITR 2 form and generate the XML file. For the same, what you have to do is you have to access Income Tax India e-filing gov.in website. So you access the page. On the right hand side top you can see e-Nivaran. So you have to click that tab. It will redirect to a page where you can download the form. From there you could see different ITR forms utility which you can download. From there you have to select ITR to Excel utility. There are two types of utility provided in income tax site. One is Excel utility and other one is Java utility. For this video I'll be using the Excel utility. So you have to click the Excel utility and you have to download it. Once it is downloaded, you will see a folder ITR2 underscore 2020. From there you have to double click the Excel file. It will be ITR2 2020 PR3, or based on the version the name might be different, but you have to ensure it is ITR2 you have downloaded. Once it is downloaded, you have to double click and open the file. It will first prompt for enable or disable macro. You have to click enable macro. Please open. It will prompt with a message. Information is the green cell are for data entry, then the red fields are mandatory, and also it mentions copy and paste is not advised, because it may cause errors in the Excel. So to click OK. So the first page you can see that is a home page where you can see that in the right hand side select applied sheet by choosing yes or no, and right side select sheet to print and click apply. So what you have to do is, if you have not clear on the pages you required for filling the ITR 2, then leave it as it is, and uh, at the end we can make the changes. Options given here is, you can enable or disable the required pages. So for example, if I select this OS and click no, then that will disappear from the tabs from here. So you will only have the tabs which you require. Otherwise, if all the pages are there, you have to go through it each to find the respective sheet. So I recommend, if you have any confusion, leave as it is and go to the respective pages, sheets as and when it required. For this video, general sheet required, then the salary sheet, CG for capital gain, then O is for the the income from other source details. Then the schedule 6 hyphen A. This is for, if you have made any investments for getting tax exemption, then you have to use this form. In this page you have to update the investment you have made under ATC, then you can update the ATE, ATGG, ATGGC, etc. Under ATC, you can claim up to 1,50,000, and also you have option for ATD, that is in different sheet altogether. That is, there you have to update the insurance payment you have made for yourself and your parents. In the part B TITTI sheet, you will find the details of tax we have filled in rest of the sheets, and the total will come under there. So what we'll do is we'll first start with the general sheet. In the part A general, you have to fill the first name, last name, all those details. So you have to fill all those details if you are doing this for the first time, and if you have previously filed the income tax at least once, then what you can do is there is an option provided in this Excel is to download the pre-filled XML. You have to access the income tax e-filing website. You have to log in using your PAN number and the password. Once you log in, go to the My Account page, and there you can see a download pre-filled XML. You have to click that and download the pre-filled XML file. So it will ask the PAN number and the assessment year. So you have to choose that as well. Then the form which you have to fill, that is you have to select, and you have to click continue. In Part A General, you have to fill all the mandatory fields which are marked in red. First name, last name, then the PAN number, then the address. Those things you have to fill. Then you have to select the state and country. Then the email address, mobile number. Then the question on or before the due date, or as per the notice. Yeah, after due date or modified return. So you have to choose on or before due date. For this field, you have to mark it as now. So basically here there you can see the questions: have you deposited amount or aggregate of amount exceeding rupees 1 crore in one or more current account during the previous year? All those scenario, this will be yes, and you need to select as in this case it is no. Other one is, are you governed by Portuguese civil code as per section 5a? So that is now for this case. Residential status in India, so this you have to select as resident. If it's NRI, then you have to select NRI. Yeah. uh, then condition for residential status, what you have to select here is whether you are in India. If for example an NRI came to India and it just passed 182 days, then you have to select this one. Otherwise you have to select you were in India for 60 days or more during the previous. This is applicable for NRIs. Please specify the jurisdiction of a residence during the previous year. So this is not applicable. Then the next will be whether this return is being filed by a representative assessee. If yes, please furnish the following information. So you have to select now here. Whether you are a director in a company, those if it is not applicable for this scenario. Whether you have any unlisted shares. So for this scenario it is no. Next we will look into the salaries sheet where you have to update the name of employer, nature of employer, that is whether it's public, private or is state government. Then the address of employer, the town, the state and the pin code. Then the next part is the salary as per section 17(1), that you will get the details from the form 16 provided by your employer. Similarly, the allowance to the extent exempt UBRS 10. These details as well you will get it from the form 16. So what you have to do is fill those details based on the form 16, and ensure that the income chargeable under the head salaries what is populated here uh, is matching with the one in your form 16. So when you fill these details here, this cell will be populated with the final value that should be matching with the income chargeable under the head salaries in your form 16. In form 16, if you go to the part B of the form, you will get details like salary as per provision contained in section 17 1 in bracket. So that you will get it there, and similarly if you have anything else depends on the forms employer has provided, there will be separate entries. So those details you have to fill accordingly, and as you can see, the house rent allowance under section 1013A. So this all will come under, the allowance to the extent exempt under section 10. Similarly, the tax on employment under section 16 in bracket 3. So this is the provisional tax. So that as well you can find it from the form 16. Then the total amount of deduction under section 16, that include all these sections. So that amount it will be here, and income chargeable under the head salaries. So this value in the form 16 should match the value populated in the salary sheet in ITR 2. Then the next is deduction under chapter 6A. So this is actually, if you have declared any premium insurance policies, or like the LIC policy or with the employer, then that will be listed in this section. So this we'll discuss later in this video, where to update those values. The form 16, you have to select the respective details like basic salary, conveyance allowance, other details. If you have, based on that you have to amend here, and you have to add it. If you need additional rows, you can click add additional row here. Then if you are choosing other, mention the actual details from the form 16, and enter the value there as applicable. Okay, then in the section 17.2, if you have anything, then you have to mention like accommodation and holiday expenses. If anything like that, then you have to add it here. Similarly, in the 17.3 as well, you have to select appropriately and add the value here. Then when it comes to here, the allowance to the extent exemption U bar is 10. So you are here, you have to select appropriate section as applicable, and if it's any other, mention that, and mention that under here. Then mention the value as applicable. So if you look here, by default the standard deduction for 16IA is automatically populated. Then from the form 16 you can get the form provisional tax, that is 16.3, that you can get it from that. You can update here, assume it is 1000 for this case. And what you have to do is you have to verify this income chargeable under the head salaries. Now it is 4,19,000 here, so this should match exactly the form 16. If it's not coming as exactly, then there is some mistake in the entry you have made in this form. So that's how you can cross verify it. Then when you click the validate button, it should show sheet salary is okay. Suppose if you have missed to enter anything here, and if you click validate, it will say that amount at serial number 1 in schedule salary is required. So you have to, it will prompt if you have missed anything, so you have to enter that. We'll look how to fill long-term capital gain in ITR 2 Excel utility. So you have to go to CG sheet, and there you have to go to P, where you can see long-term capital gain LTCG. So there you have to fill the detail. Here I am telling is about a property which is brought before 2001. You sold the property on 2019, and you have to fill the long-term capital gains accordingly. In this one, if you come to the first one, that is 1A, that is full value of consideration received bar receivable. So that is the actual amount for which you have sold the property. For example, this is a 1 cent property, you have sold it for 10 lakh. Yeah. and then that case you have to put 10 lakh here. Then the next is the value of property as per stamp valuation authority. So here actually as per the stamp valuation authority, what is the value at that time? So it will be available in the stamp paper, yeah. So where what is the value during 2019 as per the stamp valuation authority? So that amount you have to update here. Then the next is full value of consideration adopted as per the section 50C for the purpose of capital gains. So that automatically it will get populated. That is the total amount for which we have sold the property. Then next is the deduction under section 48. So here the total, from the total value, how much amount will get deduction and for how much amount we need to pay tax. Yeah, that is the calculation happening here. So here in the cost of acquisition with indexation. So how we calculate that is, indexed cost of acquisition is calculated by actual purchase price into index in year of sale by index in year of purchase. That is the formula used to calculate it. So there is a cost inflation index will be published by government, so you can search and get it from the income tax site. Yeah, each year it will be published. So for this particular scenario, you have to approach the chartered valuer or chartered engineer who has a as authorized for the property valuation. You have to approach them and get that calculated. So basically, as this is before the 2001, this property has been purchased. From 2001 till date, it will be available in the site. As it is purchased before 2001, you have to approach a property valuer. Usually there are chartered engineers who is authorized for the valuation of property, and you have to do. In case if you are purchased after 2001 and if you have any doubt in this calculation specifically, then definitely you have to or get advice from the property valuation team, that is a chartered accountant or chartered engineer authorized for that in each location. So you can get that value. So for example, in this scenario, assume that one set was brought for 50,000 before 2001, and the index in year of sale and by index in year of purchase is 2.89. 50,000 into 2.89, that is the value here given, 1,44,500. If you have given brokerage after selling the property, then you can get deduction under expenditure wholly and exclusively in connection with transfer. There you can mention that in a value of, in this scenario it is 10,000, I put 10,000 there. Then it will automatically populate the total and the balance. So you will get tax exemption for 1,54,500, and the remaining 8,45,500 you have to pay tax. Avoid tax, there are options where you can invest and get tax exemption. So in this scenario I have used deduction under section 54 easy. So that is a Rural Electrification Corporation Limited bond. So each bond is cost of 10,000 per bond. So you have to buy of 10,000 for purchasing the bond. So 54 easy, under 54 easy, what you have to do is you have to purchase the bond equivalent to this value, that is 8,45,500. So your value of long-term capital gains on immovable property becomes zero. If you look here, it is zero. If you are not purchasing anything, then you have to pay tax for 8,45,500. So in this case, we are purchasing 8,45,500. So when we purchase, we will be purchasing in amount in a multiple of 10,000. So here in this case, I will be purchasing 8,50,000. You have to update the buyer details. That is in the section of in case of transfer of immovable property, please furnish the following details. So where you have to mention the buyer name, PAN number, Aadhaar number, percentage share, the purchased amount, then the buyer address and the pin code. Once it is filled, you have to go to section D. In the section D, you have to go to deduction claimed under 54 easy. There you have to mention the date of transfer of original asset, that is the sold date, then amount invested in the specified notified bond, that is the total amount which you have purchased the bond. As I mentioned, it is multiple of 10,000, so you have to buy accordingly. So here I have purchased 8,50,000. Then the date of investment. So that is very important because you can invest in this kind of bond only if you are purchasing within 6 months. That is, once you sold, and if you are purchasing the bond after 6 months, then you won't get this benefit. Then amount of deduction claim, that is the actual amount which you are seeing here in this calculation, that is 8,45,500. This 54 easy bond, you will get 5.75 percentage of interest per annum, and there is a locking period of 5 years. Here I have mentioned about the long-term capital gain. In this scenario, you have purchased a property before 3 years and you sold that property after 3 years. Then only you can update that details in this long-term capital gain. Suppose if you bought a property a year back and you sold after a year, then you can't update those details in this section. That will come under short term capital gain, and in this scenario I have not covered the short term capital gain. In this section, most commonly a salaried person will be having the savings bank account and the deposit in the banks. In this section, we will be updating the interest received from the savings banks, then the deposit interest like the FD interest. If you have put anything in the post office or any cooperative society banks, then those interest you have received need to be updated here. Most of the banks provide interest certificate online for the financial year, so you can download that from online, or you can go and get the physical hard copy of interest statement from the bank. From there you have to sum the total interest you have received from the savings bank, that is the amount in the savings bank. If you got any interest, that you have to submit. If you have 2 3 bank account, then you have to submit and consolidate the total amount, and you have to update here. Similarly, if you have a FD in bank, then you have an FD in post office. Then if you have an FD in cooperative society bank, you have to sum all those interest and you have to update here. From bank, if you are getting an interest more than 10,000, by default they will deduct 10 percentage of the interest. Still, you have to update the total amount here in this section. And if you got any income tax refund, any other interest other than this post office bank or cooperative society, if you have got any interest, then you have to mention here. For savings bank, I am putting 12,000. Then from deposit 50,000. Say income tax refund interest, there is nothing. In others, say you got some other bond or interest something, then mention that as well here. Next is schedule 80D. There you can update insurance premium paid for yourself and family, and if your parents, then that you can mention here. If your parent is above 60 years, then you can claim up to 50,000, and if it's for self and family, up to 25,000 you can claim it. For example, I'm putting 20,000 for self, and whether any one of your parent is a senior citizen, so in that case you have to select yes, then mention here the value, that is whatever applicable. but maximum you can claim only 50,000. Next is 6A. There you can update the amount you have invested under ATC, then ATD and ATTTA, ATTTB, all those can be updated here. So ATC, that is life insurance premium like LIC or similar investment insurance policy investments you have made, then you can update that amount here. You have to first select this S where it is asking whether you have made any investment or deposit between that financial year. Yeah, so then you have to enter the invested amount. So in a under ATC you can claim up to 1,50,000. So if you have invested in the Sukanya Samriddhi, you know, scheme, then that as well count under ATC, and you can demo. I'm putting 1,50,000. Then if you look, the ATD deduction which we have updated under schedule ATD has populated automatically. The 60,000 came here under deduction. Then if you have anything you have provided under charity, the donation to the certain funds, charitable institution, all those things you have to mention under ATG schedule. There is a separate sheet, you can update that, that will populate here. In this scenario is nothing, so I am not putting anything. Update two things which is as applicable for an individual below 60 years and above 60 years and a resident. So that is the ATTTA. So the interest on savings bank account in case of other than residential senior citizens. So that is ATTTA. What it's saying is you can claim up to 10,000 as a deduction if you got interest from the savings bank. Yeah, so it is not the deposit interest, it is the savings bank interest. That is the interest you have received for your amount kept in savings bank account. So up to 10,000 you can claim here. So earlier in OS we have updated 12,000. If you look here, I have claimed 12,000. However, under ATTTA I can claim maximum 10,000. So here I am putting 10,000. Even if you put more than that, the utility will take only 10,000. But if you have got only 8,000 from the savings bank interest, then you have to put only 8,000. Otherwise, it is a wrong value. If you put 10,000, if you got 8,000 as interest. Then next is ATTB, that as we have updated 10,000, that is clear that it is not applicable for us, so it has become hidden. But if you are a senior citizen, then under ATTB interest on deposits you can claim up to 50,000. Up to 50,000 deposit amount you can claim as a deduction here. And for the final tax calculation, all this deduction will be calculated. Next is TDS sheet. In this sheet, as soon as you click it, it will populate a message saying please verify the TAN details and the amount of credit available in your form 16 and 26 AS. So even though we have the values in these two forms, you have to verify and confirm. That's it's just giving a warning. You can click OK, and by default once you update the pre-filled XML, the details of employer salary, tax deducted, all those details will be get updated here. you just need to verify uploading the pre-filled XML. Then they have to manually enter the details in the TDS1 section for the salary, and TDS2 for the bank interest, and TDS3 for the capital gain TDS deducted. So here in TDS1, where you have to mention the TAN ID of the employer, obviously be available in the form 26AS. You have to type that. I'm just giving a demo random number just for the demo purpose. Then the name of the employer, then the income chargeable under salary, so that is the total amount, for that the tax has been charged. For this case, just I'm putting a 4 lakh just for an example, and the total tax deducted I'm just putting as 4,000. Next, the TDS2, you have to first select the option self or other person. You have to select self, then tax deduction account number, that is the TAN. There you have to mention the TAN number. This you can find it from 26AS. Then next is unclaimed TDS brought forward, that you don't need to mention. If anything is there, you have to mention. In this case, there is nothing. So TDS for the current financial year, that there you have to mention the TDS deducted by this particular TAN number. For example, particular bank has deducted under this TAN, then that amount you have to mention. For example, him 1,000 rupees has been deducted, so the same amount you have to mention here, 1,000 claimed in on hands, that is it is taken from your account, so that you have to fill. Then the next is, here you have to mention the total tax deducted. So say 10,000, so 10,000 has been deducted as tax by for this bank. Then under head of income, so that you have to select accordingly. So here you have to select income from other sources because it's bank interest. The next is TDS3. So here when you sell a property, you have to pay 1% of the total amount as TDS. Okay, so usually the buyer who buy this will take your PAN details, and they will pay the tax, and the remaining amount only will be credited to your account. In this scenario, we got 10 lakh sold price for 1 cent, and 1% means 10,000 will be deducted and paid for the tax. Remaining amount will be credited, but in this case the buyer has given 10 lakh and we have paid 10,000 separately to him. Don't get confused. 1% of the total amount need to be paid as TDS during the time of registration or before the registration. So that has been done, so that will be reflected in your 26AS. So this will be self, and here the PAN of the buyer. So that is the PAN number of the buyer we have provided in the CG. Then the actual amount deducted TDS in the current financial year, that is in this case it is 10,000. Claimed in on hands how much, that is same 10,000. Then the gross amount, so whatever you are seeing in the 26As you have to mention here. Then you have to select income from capital gain. In form 26 you will see similar, where you will be able to see the name of the deductor and the TAN number, then the total amount paid and the credited tax. From there you can take understand the amount for that particular TAN, and you can update in the TDS sheet. Part B, TI. In this section actually the final tax calculation will be done. Here you can see the salaries details, or there are a lot of fields will be, or almost all the fields will be pre-populated from the other sheets, so we don't need to do anything. You can see all those losses, if anything is a total headwise income, everything will be calculated here. And what you have to do is you have to click calculate button and you have to complete the calculation. So here it's saying the bank account details need to be selected. So basically in this sheet, if you have a refund or even though if you don't have a refund, you have to furnish all the bank details here. So you have to fill all the bank accounts, not the one, whatever bank account you have during the financial year, whichever bank accounts you have held in India, all you have to mention here. And once you mention, your preferred bank account need to be checked for the refund if any. Okay. And the next one is kind of questions are there, having a signing authority in any account located outside India. In this case it is no, so you have to select no here. So it's completed. Here you can see that the amount payable is 0 and the refund amount is 15,000. See, you have paid more than the tax which needs to be paid, so you will get 15,000 refund to this bank account which you have checked here. If you have to pay any tax, then this refund value will be 0 and it will show amount payable as the amount, and there will be a button populate here, pay tax. Once you click there, you can go to the income tax website and you can make the tax payment. Yeah, once it is done, then once the tax is paid, then you have to come here and mention the BSR code, then the date of payment, serial number of the challan, and the amount needs to be mentioned here. So amount is simply whatever shown here, that extra tax which you have to pay. So here that is how you have to update. And if you are not declared the house rent and other investment, like if you are getting an interest from some other source, then you have to pay advance tax yourself, that come under advance tax. And the self assessment tax need to be filled here. Once you fill that, this area will be populated and the amount payable will become 0 and the self-assessment tax value will come here. In this scenario it is a refund, so you don't need to do any payment. You just need to mention the all your bank account and need to select one of the bank account for refund. Then the next is verification. Here you have to mention the name, then for the declaration where you have to select self. If it's a representative it's different, for in this case it is self. Then you have to mention the PAN number, that's it, and the date that will auto populated on with the current date. Once all this completed, you can generate the XML by clicking here, and we have to use that generator XML for uploading into the Income Tax India website and upload it. Once you complete filling the ITR2 form, you have to generate the XML from there. Once it is done, to upload in the Income Tax India e-filing site, you have to log in using your PAN number and the password. Then you have to go to the e-file tab and click income tax return. Once it is done, you have to go select the assessment year, then you have to select the ITR form, then the filing type. original barways.
So in this case it's original one, so you have to click the original, and you have to click continue and complete the return. Once it is done, you have to do the e-verification. There will be steps mentioned in the site, and you can follow it and complete your ITR2 file return. Thank you for watching my video. Please like and subscribe to this channel and press the bell icon to get latest video as soon as I upload it.